Hello, hello, welcome to Tea with the Druid, number 304. This is Philip Cargom, and Tea with the Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. And it's lovely to see everybody coming into the forest clearing from East Yorkshire and the hills of California, the beautiful Scottish coast, Slough, Lincolnshire, Ukraine. Hi from Kiev. Elena, hello. How lovely to welcome you here. Germany, Glastonbury, Bath, Turtle Island, Netherlands, Italy. The Netherlands is as cold as it is in England. I was there a few days ago and there was hail. We had hail. It was extraordinary. Durrington, New Hampshire, New Mexico. Hi, Laurel. Blessings to all. Cornwall, Norway, Los Angeles, Brighton, Los Angeles and Brighton, Netherlands, and yes, Missouri, Wiltshire, Kimru. Yes, lovely to see. Do take a seat by the fire. Let's gather together. And as were Bulgaria, hooray. Sweden, Staffordshire, Chicago. I'm going to stop. South America, wow. So thank you so much. First of all, I've been traveling a lot, and so a big thank you to my guests, Stephen Youth, who I recorded, pre-recorded interviews with, and then to Roma, who did this show live last week, and I think got into a bit of a muddle with all the buttons, and so apologies for that, but huge thanks to Roma for contributing on a topic that I think is really important. It's like how in this time of conflict and violence and war, how can we it's so easy to feel powerless. How can we deal with that? And so she's come up with this way of looking at ideas of micro peace, making small contributions to the field of peace. So thank you to all these guests. And now, in the few days before, as we approach Beltane, these Celtic fire festivals that we have, Beltane in the Northern Hemisphere. If you happen to be watching from the Southern Hemisphere, we're talking about Samhain. You're going towards winter, the time of honoring the ancestors. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going towards Beltane, honoring the fertility of the land, the fruitfulness, and the blending of the opposites and the flourishing of creativity in our souls. And the thing about these festival times is they are not discrete astronomical moments. The solstices and the equinoxes are very precise moments that can actually be measured. These other four festivals come from the pastoral calendar, from our ancestors, the way they farmed the land. This was the time when the cattle were being brought up to the high pastures, and therefore they're not as specific, so we don't have to be so specific about them, and it's a question of them having a sort of wider resonance. So here I'm going to, apologies to the Southern Hemisphere, but I'm going to focus on Beltane. But the lovely thing about that is that in everything is the seed of its opposite. So in Beltane is Samhain, and in Samhain is Beltane. Because the only reason there's this gateway into the world of fertility and giving birth is because of death. We come in through the gateway of Beltane. Beltane is traditionally associated with the coming together of the sexes to procreate. So that's the gateway into physical incarnation. But no sooner have we come onto the stage that we, well, we don't realize because we're babies, thank heavens. But at some point we realize that we also have to exit the stage at some point. This isn't a permanent contract. As actors in the stage of our lives, we have temporary contracts. And rather strangely, there's a clause in that contract that doesn't specify when the contract ends. Interesting existential situation there. So it's a point of high tension, of excitement. And I suppose I've used this rather dramatic example of actors and contracts and stepping onto the stage and evoking the question of death and birth. It's all high drama. It's all serious stuff. This is the stuff of life. You know, we can choose to ignore it if we like, or we can engage with it. And this is what we do in in Druidry and in Earth spiritualities. We engage with these big, big questions. So first of all, let's just check in with ourselves. There's about almost 250 of us here in the forest clearing. There'll be many more people joining us in the recordings. So let's just check in with how you're feeling now. Let's just sense ourselves around the fire together with companions and people of like mind from all over the world sitting around the circle. And check in and ask yourself how you're feeling. And then just get a sense of what that is. And then if you feel okay with sharing it, just type it in. Let's get a feeling for how people are doing, how people are feeling. And allow yourself to take a big, deep breath. Oddly subdued, chilled, calm, lonely, a little overwhelmed with loss of job and finding a new one, strong of heart and body, peaceful, grateful. Calm and peaceful, happy to be in this circle, wondering if I have lived before, vulnerable, but better to be here. Relaxed, grateful, struggling with despair, angry with humanity. I'm quite balanced and relaxed, feeling hopeful, grateful for the beauty in life, happy and peaceful, a bit chilly but okay, slightly flat, cared for, overwhelmed with spring energy, calm, mellow, content. Grateful to be in this circle, tired of injustice, a quiet excitement for the rest of the day, a little rushed, clearing my altar before tea, relaxed and contemplating better weather, very aware of old age, leading with love, happy and relaxed. Mojo has returned. Grateful, peaceful, relaxed. Summer is nearly here. Exhausted, hovering in springtime of heartbeat. Feeling displaced but hopeful. Grateful for the beauty of spring in our town. Well, thank you. Keep dropping them in. There's lots of gratefulness, which is great. Tired, at peace, afraid. Glad students are protesting finally. Yeah. So a wide range of feelings, and definitely a sense, I can feel sort of spring in the air, a sense of hope. There's anger and frustration, and who wouldn't be with what's happening in the world, but also quite a lot of gratefulness and calm as well in the field. So that's interesting, and let's and opening to, you see, there's something interesting. I remember when I was doing psychosynthesis training, there was a little sort of piece of teaching there that I found really helpful, is that we tend to think that we can't, for some reason, we can't have opposite feelings. But as you start to explore the palette of your emotions and really tune in and ask yourself how you're feeling, you can discover that you can have two quite contrary feelings. So you can be feeling calm, but also excited. You can be feeling angry, but also hopeful. You can have, and one, maybe some other theatrical analogy, like the lighting on a stage would help here, that sometimes the lighting or what's foreground is one feeling, like I'm feeling really excited at the moment. And then in the background, or with a different set of lighting on the stage, there's a sort of inherent calmness. And I think I've just described how I'm feeling. I'm feeling quite excited, not in a particularly pleasant way. It's like I've been traveling a lot and doing lots of different things and being in a lot of different settings, very demanding settings and so on. And so I'm feeling quite, my nervous system is quite activated. and yet sort of somehow sitting in the middle of that, there's a sense of calm and of joy and gratefulness to be here with everybody, to be here with you, because there is nothing better than to be, I think, with people of like mind. I'm also feeling excited. I've just realized, thinking of like-minded folks, is today we have launched a project which has taken 2 years to create, and we've created it with the help of somebody in Kyiv. So it was lovely to see somebody in Kyiv in our circle, and to welcome to you. Somebody in Kyiv, a software engineer, has been helping us to create something called the Druid Half, where we can all come together and we can live stream together. We can have chats like this. We can share. We can go into circles with different specialities, special interest groups. We have a mental health special interest group that has nearly 700 members. And we can meet in there, and other groups, people interested in healing and plant law, animal law, and so on. It's very, very exciting. And for those of us who don't like Facebook, it means we can get away from Facebook as well. So a very big, major development has happened. And in fact, if you look on the druidry.org site, and in the join tab, you click on the join tab, you'll see some of it is featured on there. But if you're a member of the order, you'll get an email over the next few days inviting you into the half. And I do hope you come in, because I think you'll absolutely love it. I've thought of another reason why I'm excited too, which is a book I worked on last year has come out. It's called Time for Magic, and it's illustrated by Jamie Reed, a dear old friend who died last year, and with contributions from myself and Stephen Elcock and John Marchant. And it's just a fabulous looking book. Look, here's the section on Beltane. It follows the wheel of the year. There's Beltane, and it's not coming out. It's not officially coming out till the summer solstice, but I will. I'll put links up and details for it, and I've got a walkthrough of the book. Here's the section on Beltane, and it's got stuff about Druidry and about, look, it's just full of pictures. It's fantastic. Druidry and Jamie's incredible artwork. Which, you know, there we go. So anyway, so more on that later. I'll give you a link to the book, and we've got it in the shop for pre-order. So yeah, but let me, the book has opened at Beltane. Here we go. Let me read you a little bit from it. By Beltane, you can really start to feel that spring is here. Well, only just in England and Holland, I know. But it does. Today was a sunny day, and you can feel spring is here. The flowers are out and the blossom is out too. And that summer's on its way. It's a fiery time. Traditionally, out in the countryside, 2 great bonfires would be lit, and the cattle passed through them to protect them from witches and fairies and keep them healthy before they were taken up to the summer pastures. When the fires died down, people would jump over them or walk in circles around them, or leap backwards and forwards over the flames 3 times to bring them luck. Young women would jump over the embers in the hope of finding a good husband, pregnant women in the hope of a good birth. Children were carried over to protect their health, and each household would take some embers home to kindle a new fire in their hearth, while the rest would be cast on the sprouting crops to encourage their growth. The earliest written records of this custom come from a 9th century Irish text that describes Druids at this time lighting 2 lucky fires with great incantations. So let's take this theme of Beltane. Let's just drop in a little deeper to it. This theme of 2. I talked earlier about how we can have 2 emotions that are contrary, and we tend to experience one emotion, like I'm feeling excited, and we block out or don't think about the other emotion, which is, for me now, is calmness. Or I can try and subdue my excitement and bring out and tune into my calmness and go there. But what happens if I can try to bring them both together? To hold one feeling in one hand and one feeling in another, and then to bring them together. And I think that's something that we can do in a number of situations where we, say, take our perception. A number of people mentioned how upset and angry they were with the world because of the suffering, I assume because of the suffering and the war and the conflict and the stupidity that's in the world that's causing so much pain and destruction. That there are those feelings on the one hand are anger and frustration, and feelings of hopefulness and calm that we might be able to sense as well. Because when we're together in circumstances like this, it's like, as human beings, when we come together in peace and with a spiritual sensitivity, there's a depth and a beauty and a love and a connection in there. What happens if I take my anger and I take my calm and I bring them together in my heart? And this isn't about thinking, because we don't want to get caught up in, it's about energy, it's about feeling. What a lot of power is in that. What a lot of power is in that. When we take away the judgmental mind that says, oh, it's not good to feel angry because it's bad for your mental health and your physical health, and you're powerless anyway, and then that makes you feel more angry, but then you think you shouldn't be feeling, you get caught up with judgment and criticism. But if we take away judgment and we just deal with these things at their own level, bring them in, and somehow there's this great alchemy that can take place. This is what, in this particular configuration of anger and connection, anger and calm, is, and connection to the spirit, is the path of the spiritual activist, the spiritual warrior, if you like, who doesn't seek to hurt or harm, but who seeks justice and who seeks love, ultimately. Francis Nielsen, like Jung's transcendent function, producing a third thing. Yes, thank you, exactly. So let's Cal, transformation is made through the cauldron of the goddess. Let her transform you and give her your pain. So yes, the cauldron, another wonderful alchemical symbol. And of course, so in Beltane, we have the fires, the twin fires, again pointing to this working with duality, working with two things. And we have, but what's interesting is to juxtapose fire and water. And this is what the goddess Bridget is, the goddess of the well, the holy well and the spring, and the goddess of the forge. And that's no coincidence, because she is the goddess of healing and of birth. Birth, both physically, the physical birth of children, but also the birth of creativity. So no wonder these two elements are brought together. And let's connect with them in our circle now. When I was in Holland a few days ago, we did a fire ritual, and it happened to have rained a lot. And around the fire was a big puddle. It's like a little pond almost. So we had, from where I was standing, I could see the flames of the fire dancing up, reflected in the water in front of me, in the little pool in front of me. So it's very beautiful. So let's drop into a meditation now, and thank you for these comments. It's lovely to read them, and I always read all the comments afterwards. I don't read them all now because I get distracted, but I will read them all afterwards. So let's now drop into a meditation on this eve, this beginning of Beltane, really. So if you feel like doing this meditation, you might like to close your eyes or lower your gaze. And just become aware, first of all, of the physical reality that you're in, sitting in front of your screen, your laptop or your phone or your tablet in front of you. Sense the room around you. Sense your physical body and feel yourself grounded, grounded in your body, seated in front of your screen. And now sense the floor beneath you, walls around you, and the ceiling above you. And if it feels okay, just allow those to gently melt away in your awareness as you become aware of being in a clearing in the forest. Straight away, you can smell the wood smoke and you can hear the crackling of a fire. You might just sense it, you might need to imagine it, playfully create it, or you may have a strong sense of this fire now, burning in the center of our circle. And you sense your fellow companions seated around the fire. Take in a big deep breath. Hold for a moment. Close your eyes to drop deeper, and then release your breath, breathing out. Eyes closed, inner eyes closed, breathing in. Hold for a moment, and then breathe out fully and deeply. Do a little experiment now and sense how you can feel yourself centered in your body, in the here and now, your body awareness present, feeling your body sitting on the chair, the weight of your body, so you're fully present in your physical body. And yet at the same time, you're aware of being in this forest clearing, so that now your awareness of being seated on the earth grows even stronger. You might be seated on a log or a stone, on the earth itself, but it grows stronger and you really can smell the earth now. Moisture in the air, and you just tune in to the life in the earth. All this life, the creatures in the earth, the little worms and all those creatures, and all the mycelium, the mycelial connections, all these little fronds, the mycelium, the fronds of the fine roots coming from the bigger roots of the trees, the rocks, the stones, clay and sand and soil and moisture, all this moisture. And you feel how all this energy of the earth brings you a sense of healing and calm. As you breathe in, you might be able to sense the energy of the earth just gently permeating your energy field. The great thing about the earth is you can let go to it. Nothing you need to think or do. Just letting go to it, allowing yourself to be held, sustained and nurtured, nourished by the earth. And in the earth, you sense the roots of the trees now. And you sense all the moisture that's being drawn up into the trunks of the trees. And as you become aware of the trunks rising up from the ground, you sense the presence of these magical beings, your brothers and sisters, the trees that we love, that we treasure, that we revere. And as they breathe out, we breathe in. And as we breathe in, they breathe out. Sharing the air together. We sense their protection and their power and their strength. And we look up into the sky and we breathe in the clarity and the energy of the sky now. This energy flows into our beings, flows into our energy field, flows into our body. With every breath in, the sky brings me energy and vitality. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of my being. And now you become aware of feeling centered in the circle. You gently become aware of the circle around you. Just this sense of community, us all in the circle together. And you sense the fire in the center. And you sense now a man and a woman robed in Druid robes who have great long rakes. And what they're doing is they're raking this central fire into two to create a pathway between the two. You see them just moving the burning logs, separating them to create a passageway. And the invitation, if it feels right for you, is for you to just stand, if you feel empowered to do so, and to very slowly, consciously and deliberately walk through this passageway between the two fires. And as you approach the fires, you feel the warmth, but it's tolerable, it's bearable. And there's enough room, the gap between the two fires is wide enough for you to stop and for you to stand and to hold out the palms of your hands to either side of you so you can feel the warmth of the fire coming through your left palm into your body. And the warmth as you hold out your right hand, the warmth of the fire traveling through the palm of your right hand into your body. May these two fires warm my heart and soul. And you bring your hands together and you place your hands on your heart and you feel your heart as one, filled with warmth and energy. And when you feel ready, you step forward, cleansed, invigorated, energized. You walk across to where the Druids are standing, and then you turn and you walk clockwise around the circle back to your place. And as you do this, you see that one by one, each member of the group is also making this journey through the fire. And you just sit quietly in the circle at your place. Just being in your heart and allowing those embers in your heart to just glow brightly. You might even notice how as you breathe in and out, you can breathe air, oxygen into your heart, into those embers so that they glow more brightly. And you might want to allow your awareness to spread to the whole of your body so that your body is feeling energized by the Beltane fire. bringing you vigor and strength. And now, just gently allow your hands to drift out. So you take the hand of the person to your right and left, so that we're all seated in this circle now. Almost 300 of us now seated in this circle, holding hands, creating this field of energy. May there be peace on earth. May the energies of this Beltane time bring joy to the hearts of many. May the impulses towards peace, the impulses and the desires for peace and harmony to exist be strengthened at this time of Beltane. May those of faint heart be emboldened to seek change. Squeeze the hand to either side of you, gradually releasing them, feeling that sense of solidarity. And then notice you've got there's a little leather pouch or a stone or a cup that you can, maybe it's a cup, so you're not going to get burnt. You can just take some of the glowing embers or ash. You just lean forward and take some of the ash from the fire to take back with you, to place in your garden or on your altar as a talisman of peace and fertility. And as you hold the cup in your hands with this ash from the Beltane fire, we all ask that our lives may be blessed, the lives of our loved ones may be blessed, and that all life might be blessed. May peace prevail on earth, and may the land be blessed. And gradually, you allow your awareness to settle back into an awareness of your physical body. You notice the flow of breath coming into you. Hold for a moment and then release. And then as you do this, as you become more aware of your physical body, your awareness of the sacred grove begins to fade. As you start to become aware of the four walls around you, the floor beneath you and the ceiling above you. You locate yourself in time and space, seated here now. And when you feel ready, you stretch your fingers and toes and you open your eyes. So welcome back. You can see from the window that I started in the daylight and you could see the trees outside and it's growing dark now. And thank you. I'm just going to I'll put a few comments up. Beautiful imagination, powerful meditation. Awen, awen, awen. I can feel my neighbors all around me. Blessings to all. I can see the embers glowing from all of us. Okay, so have a beautiful Beltane and a beautiful coming weeks. And I very much look forward to seeing you next week. And have a lovely week and much love and many blessings. Okay, and now I'm going to make some tea and I'm going to come and read all your comments. Okay, bye.